Welcome into the In the Money podcast for KeenelandSelect.com. I'm Tom Leach along with Jim Goodman, Keeneland's Director of Simulcasting. This is our regular Saturday podcast. We did one yesterday for the Santa Anita post-Christmas card. Today we're going to focus on the three graded stakes races at Gulfstream for the last weekend of 2014. First, we'll remind you that last weekend, Jim was really high on Sandiva, who won the Tropical Park Oaks. And he liked Firing Line for the upset of Dortmund and missed it by a hair. I had Dortmund. I'm sure you won a lot of money on that pick. But I did have Skyflight, an $11 horse down at Gulfstream. So if you were listening last week, you hopefully did well of some of our analysis, and hopefully that will be the case again as we take a look at the eighth race on the Saturday card at Gulfstream, Jim, and it's the Grade 3 La Proviante for fillies and mares 3 and up. At 1.5 miles on the turf, there's a companion stake for the boys a little later that we'll touch on. But we got full fields in this one and the one for the boys. Who did you like here in the La Proviante?
I like a lot of them. I really settled on it. You know, this one is tough, and the 10th race is also tough. I mean, anytime you have 1.5 miles, you get a full field of turfers, and it's going to come down to who gets the best trip. A lot of times, the horse that gets the lead and controls the pace has a better shot than you think in a 1.5 mile race. I'm going to go with maybe a little bit of a price here. Grand Motion has Photo Call the 3 and ran at Keeneland, and first time North America won by 3.5 at 4-1 after it got off to a bad start. Now, Photo Call she's never been 1.5 miles. She did run 1.25 miles in her debut on synthetic in Ireland. So she's probably bred to go without a Galileo and Sadler's Wells. So I think she's probably going to get the trip. She may be up against it here. She doesn't have the back class on the other horses, but I think you might get a price. And I love Grand Motion in races like this. The other horse that I liked, Irish Mission on the outside for Clement, Johnny Velasquez. She's the class of the race. Distance is not a question. She run this distance 4 times. The other horse was K-Dancer, the 11. I like Chad Brown. He's 26% first North America, and this horse ran well in Great Britain. Won 3 races, a couple of stakes races over there. So I think K-Dancer has to be thrown in there. You can throw in some other horses for the trifecta, including Always Kitten for Ramsey, Maximova, Bohemian Dance, Anja Green, a horse that came out of a race at Churchill that I liked for Catalano, and she didn't run a step that day, but she can bounce back off that Kentucky Downs race. So I think a lot of horses have a shot in here, but I'm going to go with Photo Call on top with Irish Mission to run second.
I ended up going for a price in here, Maximova the 4. You got guys like Clement and Brown and Motion who are all great in these marathon turf races. So Maximova's going for Clement, who had this horse win a 3 other than at Saratoga, and then put her in a couple of stakes races and Grade 3 level stakes, and she had a couple of troubled trips. Now he's switching to Irad Ortiz from Franco, and Franco's a nice rider, but he ain't Irad Ortiz yet. And so that's a notable upgrade, and it's the second try at 1.5 miles. So for the price I think I'm going to take a shot with Maximova, and I'll use her with the ones you mentioned. K-Dancer is, obviously got to be live with Chad Brown. So I'll key Maximova, the 4 with the 11, K-Dancer, the 12, Irish Mission, the 3, Photo Call, and the 5, Always Kitten. It's one of those races where if you're on the right one, you want to have several shots at the gimmicks, whatever you're playing. So I'm going to key off Maximova in the La Proviante. 9th race, the Grade 3 Mr. Prospector, named for the great sprinter of the early 70s. 3 furlongs, or 3-year-olds and up, going 6 furlongs. Who did you go with here?
This race, I think I'm going to play a late pick 3 on Saturday, and I'm going to go deep in both the turf races. But I'm probably going to single Speechify. I was really impressed with the race that he ran for Ralph Nix over at Gulfstream West, which I still call Calder occasionally, the Kenny No stakes race, and he was very tough there. He got 97 buyer and just ran away from him, won by almost 4 lengths. So I like Speechify in here. The other horses that I think have a shot, Calamondon for Kethel Lynch is 4 for his last 5, and if you take away the turf race at Laurel, which he obviously didn't like the turf, he's 4 in a row. So and he's won by 10, 2 3/4, 2 3/4. So he's pretty impressive. And Master Blender does have a 4-race win streak and a 29% trainer in Kirk Sadie. So I like the race Speechify ran. If he runs back to that, I think he wins. But a couple of the horses have a shot in here, so I would play Speechify the 6 over Calamondon the 3 and Masterbunder the 5.
Same for me on Speechify. 97 Buyer in the second off the layoff, 3 for 5 at Gulfstream, and just very visually impressive in that last one. So I like that one a lot in here too. I'm going to use him with Calamondon the 3 and with the 8 Simstown, but Speechify I like a lot. 10th race, the Grade 3 WL McKnight Handicap, 1.5 miles on the turf for 3-year-olds and up. And I started to go to Unitarian here, who I picked last time in New York. That was the second off the layoff. This is the third, and the horse improved from the first to the second start. And really liked the way he won at Keeneland back in the spring. And so I think he's live in here, but I ended up taking Slumber because he's going to Chad Brown's barn. Now, he's going from Mott to Brown, and obviously Bill Mott knows what he's doing. But sometimes just with a coach or something, a new trainer can find the right button to push. And Chad Brown wins 30% with newcomers to his barn. This is a horse that they put in some big-time spots, so clearly they thought it had potential. And maybe Chad Brown can be the one that can help Slumber find that potential coming off a bit of a layoff. So I'm going to take a shot there, just a hunch with Slumber because I'll get a decent price. I will key him with Unitarian, the 2, the 3 North Slope, who comes off a really nice race for McLaughlin, the 10 Rapscallion for Motion, and the 11 Royal Blessing. How about you?
I went with Unitarian, and the difference for me was I like Slumber because I took North Slope and Slumber, both the horses who came out of the bowl game at Belmont on October 19th. They ran within a neck of each other. Slumber has more back class than North Slope, so I think, and the move to Chad Brown is a good angle as well. So I like Slumber, but I went with Unitarian for a couple of reasons. 2 for 3 at Gulfstream and 2 for 3 at the distance. And Slumber is 0 for 3 at Gulfstream and 0 for 5 at the distance. Now, admittedly, it's been running against much better horses than Unitarian has. But I really like the fact that Unitarian has won twice on the track and twice at distance. So I'm going to take him on top. I'm going to use North Slope, the 3, Slumber, the 6, Rapscallion, the 11, and Divine Oath, 13 in second, and then add St. Albans, Boy, the 1, Calvados, the 4, Manchurian High, the 7 in the trifecta. So I can make a case for a lot of horses here, but I'm going with Unitarian, the 2, for Pletcher, Velasquez. And you made a comment last time about Franco moving to Ortiz, and Franco rode this horse last time out, and Johnny Velasquez takes it for Pletcher. So that's a little bit of a move up as well. So Unitarian is my pick in the WL McKnight at Gulfstream.
And if you're doing horizontal wagers, I don't know about you. I mean, you could you'd feel comfortable going deep in here, but if you had to take a stand with just Unitarian and Slumber because you wanted to spread out, elsewhere, say in a pick 4 or something, I'd feel okay about that. I think there's I like one of those two to get home first.
Yeah, I agree. And I think North Slope has a shot simply because he beat Slumber last time out.
Yeah.
But and Kieran McLaughlin always gets him ready. So I think North Slope, you have to put him in there as well. But that would be my top 3, definitely.
Best of luck to everybody in your wagers for the Saturday card at Gulfstream Park. And we'll be back with the first edition of the In the Money podcast for 2015. The next time you hear from us. Happy New Year, everybody. This is the In the Money podcast for KeenelandSelect.com.